Hello kids and welcome to my August 2020 reading wrap up. This is the first book related video I'm ever filming in my entire life, so please don't judge me too hard, okay? So, in August I only read 3 books, but August was the month that I finally got back into reading after not reading any books for a few years and mainly reading fanfictions. I bought a lot of books but I didn't read them, so yeah, I got back into reading and I'm enjoying it so much, and honestly I don't understand how I went a few years without reading anything because books are amazing, okay? So yeah, I'm just going to start with the first book that I read in a few years, which is The Institute by Stephen King. And this book, guys, this book. I love this book a lot. It's about this boy Luke who gets kidnapped from his home and brought to the institute where there are a lot of kids with like telepathy skills and telekinesis, and they're not really treated that well there. Like, I really felt for the characters in this book. Like, there were like a few heartbreaking scenes in there, not gonna lie. And then Luke is like, I want to escape from here. So yeah, it's definitely a really interesting book. This was the first Stephen King book that I ever read, and I think it was a great book to start with. It's not scary. Like, if you're scared of starting with Stephen King books, I can really recommend you to start with this book because it's not scary at all, in my opinion, okay? There are a few scenes where you're like kind of scared for the character's safety and life, but it's not scary at all, I think. I really don't know what else to say about this book except that I completely love it. Like, the characters are amazing and the writing is great and the storyline is just perfect and I love it, okay? It's amazing, and yeah, I kind of heard that they're maybe like making a TV show out of it. I don't know if that's true. I didn't really look at anything that was written in the post, I just kind of scrolled past that. But if they're really doing that, then I'm definitely hyped for it, even though I think we all know that books that turn into movies or series can be kind of but we'll see if they're actually doing it, and if they're doing it, how it turns out. But I love this book, okay? It's literally 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing, okay? I don't know what else to say. By the way, this was the first book I ever read in English because my native language is German, and I tried reading an English book a few years ago, but that didn't work out that well. But we're getting to that in a few minutes actually. But it was fine. I didn't really have any problems. Of course, there was the occasional word that I ended up googling, but I had that with the other 2 books as well. I didn't really have any problems with understanding the book. If I was too lazy to Google something, I just kind of made up my own meaning for the word. But I literally Googled it and Google was like, I don't know either. So this guy at the beginning, Tim, I think that's his name, who starts a job as a night knocker, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So I guess after Googling a bit, I just kind of, and reading the book because Google also didn't know, and I only saw Stephen King related stuff to the book, so I was like, I don't want any spoilers. But apparently a night knocker is just like someone who walks around at night and makes sure that nobody gets murdered or something. Like, you know, just make sure that everyone is safe at night and the town doesn't get robbed or something. But why is Stephen King choosing those kind of words for a job? Just be like night security guard for the entire town. I don't know, but yeah, that's a night knocker, I guess. Also, what I forgot to add, I just love the cover of this book. Like, it's so beautiful. Like, I love this book. Everything about it is perfect. Honestly, this might be my new favorite book. I'm not entirely sure about it because I haven't really been reading that much since, you know, I only read a few books since I got back into reading. But I think this was honestly the one that I enjoyed the most out of them. I might have a new favorite book, kids. That's wow. And the second book that I read in August was Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I really hope that's how you pronounce her name. So it's about this girl, Katie, who moves to a new town, to like a really small town, and then she meets her neighbors, and turns out they're not normal. They're aliens. And her neighbors are twins. And she's like friends with the girl, but when she first meets the girl's brother, And the scene where they first meet, I died, okay? Because it was like literally a typical, I'm not meaning this in a bad way, but like your typical Wattpad style scene. I don't know how to English. So when she first meets the guy, it's really your typical whatever, because he's shirtless for some reason. Why are all the bad boys in stories always like shirtless when they first meet the girl? Can somebody explain that to me? And obviously she doesn't just ignore that, she just stares at him for like a minute and he's like, hello, can you speak? So, and then he starts calling her kitten all the time. And honestly, I'm done denying that I'm not a sucker for that, okay? I'm sorry, I love these really cliche bad boy stories, okay? It's a part of me. I'm done denying that I don't like it, okay? This was a great book and I already ordered the next part of the series, which should be getting here in like 2 weeks, and this book kind of ended on like a little cliffhanger, so I'm really looking forward to reading the next part. And honestly, I'd say 5 out of 5 stars, because even though it's a bit cliche here and there and you're kind of like, Katie, why are you not realizing that these guys are aliens? Because there's a lot of weird stuff happening and Katie's also sometimes like, what are you doing, guys? Why? This is not normal. So while Katie is kind of not really realizing that her neighbors are aliens, and that's kind of weird that she doesn't go that much into like talking to them about the weird stuff she notices, because if I would notice that my friends are like staying underwater for 9 minutes, I would ask more than like one time if they're like, okay. Maybe that's just me, but besides that, it's a great book. It has a great storyline. Even though it's a bit cliche here and there, I can't deny that I didn't love this book, okay? It was great and nice story, and I look forward to reading the next part of the series. In some way, reading this book kind of reminded me of like the 2014 Wattpad days where we were all just reading bad boy stories, because this kind of is a bad boy story. Like, the guy is not really nice at first, and then he's nice for a moment, and then he's mad again at her for whatever reason, and then he... I'm sorry, I like that stuff, okay? I'm done denying it, like I said. I don't know why I like it. A lot of people don't like the typical bad boy love stories, but I do, okay? Don't judge me. I'm just lonely, okay? And the last book that I read in August is in some way a classic for like my age group, I guess, because Looking for Alaska by John Green. Oh boy. So, Looking for Alaska used to be my favorite book when I was younger, and I read it a few times in German. And a few years ago I was like, when I started improving my English, I was like, oh, Looking for Alaska kind of is / used to be my favorite book. I'm just gonna order it in English and see where it goes. And after like 20 pages, there was always like at least one word per page that I did not understand at all, and I just kind of gave up. So I actually read it this time completely and I understood most of it. So kind of like with the other books, there were a few words here and there that didn't make sense to me. Either I googled them or I just ignored them. But yeah, Looking for Alaska. I know a lot of people these days kind of despise the book in some way. Kind of, I think maybe they're just kind of mad at themselves because in 2014, when everyone had in like their Tumblr bio, y'all smoke to enjoy, I smoke to die, and they're just done with that phase of themselves, which I can understand. I never had that in my bio because I was like a 12-year-old, and 12-year-olds don't smoke where I live, so there's that. But yeah, basically, if you don't know, Looking for Alaska is this book about Mars who like moves away from his parents to like this new college, and then he meets Alaska, who's like this really mysterious girl, and he kind of falls in love with her, but he also kind of doesn't because she's just kind of weird and has these mood swings. And one day she's like really nice to him, and the next day she's not answering any of his questions and just leaves him sitting there or whatever. In some way this book just has a special place in my heart because when I was younger I really loved the book. I don't understand why everybody started hating this book. I mean, I don't know, kids, I don't know. And if I remember correctly, like 2 years ago, people were saying they were like making a movie out of it or a series. I don't really know. I don't know what happened to that. I think it was like 2 years ago. Maybe it was just a few months ago. I have no sense of time anymore, so I don't know. Maybe it's already out and it's really bad and that's why nobody's talking about it. I don't know. But honestly, I don't really know what rating to give this book because since it kind of means a lot to me, this was really one of my favorite books when I was young, I would say 5 out of 5 stars. But on the other hand, a lot of people are hating it and that's why I feel like I have to give it 4 out of 5. But I mean, I personally still enjoy it, so I'd say 5, but I don't want anyone hating on me for giving it 5 stars. But on the other hand, I'm sorry that I still like Looking for Alaska in 2020, okay? It's just, you know, when I was 12 and had no friends and I read Looking for Alaska like 5 times in a month, it just kind of means something to me still, okay? Don't judge me, please. No, but yeah, I don't know. I'd say 5 out of 5 stars. I'm sorry, kids. I know some people may hate me for giving it 5 stars, but I don't care. I liked the book when I was younger. I still liked it. And since I haven't read it in a few years, it was actually nice to read some stuff that I completely forgot about. So yeah, I mean, the characters are, I mean, I think they're like 17 or something, and do 17-year-olds really act like that? I mean, I personally didn't when I was 17. Like, know that I'm old, TM. I still don't act like that, but maybe that's just American kids. I don't know. I can't relate to that, but otherwise the story, it just has something, the writing style. I don't mind John Green's writing style. I've seen some people hate on it in the past, but I don't know. I personally like this book. And who knows, maybe in like a year when I still do my reading wrap-ups and I read a lot more books, I'm going to be like, why did I give Looking for Alaska 5 stars? This is not a good book. Maybe one day I'm just going to understand all the people hating on this book because maybe they're reading a lot more and have a better sense of good books. I don't know, but I personally enjoyed it, and what else can I say about it, okay? Also, I'm like really happy that I finally read this book because it was just like in my bookshelf for 3 years, or honestly even longer, and just not touched in a few years because I didn't understand it the first time I tried to read it, and then I was just kind of scared and didn't try again. But I read it now and it was nice to read it again. I don't think it's my favorite book anymore, but like I said, in some way it still holds a special place in my heart, okay? I'm sorry. So yeah, that was my August 2020 reading wrap-up. Just 3 books. I know, a lot of people have like 10 books or even more in their reading wrap-ups, and I'm just like, how do you have the time to read that much? How does that happen? And how can you even afford 10 books every month? Like this week I got like 4 new books and I literally wanted to cry when I saw how much they were because books are expensive, okay? And yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say with that, but go buy books, kids. Books are like, I'm probably going to do another reading wrap-up for September and all the next upcoming months, unless I only have like 2 books, because I feel like 3 books are still kind of okay, but like with 2 books, I don't think I would do a reading wrap-up. I would probably just combine it with the next month then, because unless I have like a lot to say about the books, that won't happen, because that's just 2 books, I don't know. But yeah, who knows how much I'm gonna read in the future, so we'll see, and hopefully this is not complete trash to other reading wrap-ups. I mean, it probably is, but first book video ever, okay? Forgive me. So yeah, that was this video. Thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.